making her wait. It's midnight. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
You don't want to keep Jamie Vick waiting, you son of a bitch.
and welcome everybody to the Fandom Zone for another late night talks. And today is a special day of chicanery, nonsensory, and welcome Jamie Vick. Good to have you here as one of the first
What
people.
is up,
The
Jamie
first,
Vick?
yeah, this is gonna be a great night because we're gonna be talking about some bullshit and some funny stuff. And then I've got some stuff. Good morning, Gary North. I guess for you,
What's up,
more of a
Gary?
good evening for me. Um, but yeah, Lemon Pie, welcome to Moan Flip. Good to see you.
Lemon pie,
Yeah, we're gonna be
Timon.
talking about some some true stuff, and then I do have some stuff, but I will warn you, it's from We Got This Cover and Cosmic Book News, so
Oh, I
that you
know.
might
I
have to take
seen
with a
where
grain of
all
salt.
your the websites you were using for your sources tonight, and I was like, oh my god, the raccoons are gonna be running wild in the fandom zone.
Well, no, not the whole time. I do have the LA Times, and well, as
Yeah,
accurate as they can
I
be.
will stick by my statement.
What news site is variable or is valuable these days? They're all pretty much take it with a grain of salt. But most of these I checked into through
Well,
other various
some you can
sources.
take with a grain of salt, some you need a salt shaker, some you need the entire fucking salt block that you need to put in the woods for your deer.
But that's the beauty of it, right? So
I
uh
suppose I can laugh at the salt block ones.
So let me talk about something that is verified. It's kind of my headline for tonight. It has been it's not just here, but it's been on the news. And I wanted to address this because I found it funny. Now, I want to talk about Mulan, but not for the
Oh,
review aspect of it. I want to talk about sort of a funny thing because there's a lot of irony surrounding this movie. As you guys know, this was clearly made to appease a certain market. And the ironic part about this whole situation is that the very market that Disney was clearly targeting for this film has turned on them. So there's been a bit of
excellent.
backlash. Yes, it is excellent, PB. This is one of the greatest examples of them making something for a particular group. And the funny part is when I'm watching this, and a lot of reviewers who you probably have seen review this movie and things like that, we've all scratched our heads exactly wondering who this film is made for. That's a big theme for these Disney remakes. And so let's talk about China. Bars media coverage of Disney Mulan after Xinjiang backlash. So, just to give you guys some context, this she is the star. She is Mulan herself, and I don't disagree with what she's said because in China, the police force there is terrible. The government there is terrible. They do a lot of horrendous things to the people. But
No, China would never do that.
no, no,
What?
I kid you not. But here's the thing. If you are a movie star promoting your new movie, maybe taking a political stance about the injustice in the country you're trying to promote your movie might not be the greatest thing. Now, I applaud her for taking her stance, but this is just all the way around stupid marketing. And of course, Disney doubled down on this. So now China is pissed in general, and this is supposed to be their biggest market. So Chinese authorities have told major media outlets let me just reread that. Chinese authorities have told major media outlets
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
not
whoa.
to
You
cover.
said authorities? I thought there was just one Chinese authority.
No, the authorities, there is multiple,
Well,
told major,
shit.
yeah, this is a big thing. They told major media outlets not to cover Walt Disney Company's Mulan, an order issued after controversy erupt overseas over the film's links with Xinjiang region. Four people familiar with the matter told uh, the magazine set to open in local theaters on Friday. Disney had high hopes for Mulan in China. Yes, they did, but starving it out of the publicity of the country's strictly censored media would be another blow to the $200 million production, starring big name Chinese born actors Jet Li, Gong Lei, Donnie Yen, uh, Liu Yifei, and based on the Chinese folk story, Mulan was tailored to appeal to the audiences in China, the world's second largest movie market. But mixed reviews online and capacity limits in theater due to the coronavirus prevention measures were likely to weigh in on the box office performance, or the fact that it sucks too. That's a big one. Even before major media outlets received notice telling them to refrain from covering the movie. Three sources told us media outlets had received the notice, to whom they said it was sent by the Cyberspace Administration of China. A fourth source at a major Chinese newspaper said he had received a text message with a similar order from senior colleagues. No reason was given for the notice, but the source said they believe it was because of the overseas backlash over the film's links to Xinjiang. Neither the Cyberspace Administration or Disney immediately responded to the request. Partly shot in the Xinjiang, Mulan's credits include "Thanks to the authorities there," which prompted calls overseas for boycott of the movie. China's clampdown on ethnic uh, I don't know what that race is, and other Muslims in the Jiangli region.
I can't
I
tell you
wasn't
what
even
it is
fucking
either because I can't see the words.
has been criticized by some governments, including the United States and human rights groups. So, just so we get this straight, folks, the region that Disney shot this film in and the people of that region were being oppressed by the authorities, and Disney, which I did see at the end of the credits of the movie, gave a shout out to these people. What the fuck?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
They
but it
have
gets
to.
better.
Well, you got when you give the shout out, now they're like, okay, we know that we're the people that can be upset about this movie now because we've been named.
Yep, this is fucking hilarious. The movie was released on Disney's streaming service in many markets rather than the cinemas due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Mulan is likely to be shown more than 40% of Chinese screens on Friday, according to the data from the Maoyan, a trenched backed ticketing platform. Chinese theaters are currently limiting the capacity to about 50%. The film had sold 9.7 or 9.78 million yen. That's 1.43 million worth of tickets on Thursday afternoon, accounting for 55% of ticket sales sold across China on Friday's show. One analyst who declined to be named because he said the situation is sensitive predicted the film would earn a dismal 150 million yen at the mainland box office, given early
What does that
audience reviews.
equate to in human dollars? That's a joke.
Uh, yeah, the film, which many have already seen online, received a 4.7 out of 10 on popular social media websites where users leave reviews for films, books, and movies. So, I am so glad because this remake is actually getting um what we were hoping for. Finally, Disney has taken an L on their remakes. I really hope that this like
Yeah, but
halts
for the
or
wrong
stops.
reason.
I mean, yes, but I'm still happy.
Somebody got offended because they think that they've been slighted, and I'm sure that they haven't been.
Well, I mean, they did give a shout out to the authorities who are currently prosecuting and
Okay,
beating the shit
so
out of
did
people.
was the movie not made in China?
Oh, it was. They just
Okay, hold
didn't.
on. No. You answered my question now. Did the Chinese authority not have to give them permission to film in China?
In that region, yes.
Okay. Now, I don't know for a fact. Wouldn't you think that there was going to be some agreement somewhere saying, like, hey, you have to let the world know that we let you film in this region? So I'm sure it's like, and thanks to the Chinese government for letting us film here in this location. Yeah, that's not offensive to anybody. You're not saying, oh, thank you and good job on all your human atrocities.
The point is, the region that they gave the shout out to, they named specifically, and that region is specifically known for the crimes that are being committed. My whole point is, if they knew this, which clearly someone didn't do their marketing homework, I would have shot somewhere else that could have avoided the whole thing. In all of China, you're telling me they couldn't pick a different place to film.
Yeah, like you could have filmed in, I don't know, Vancouver or Toronto and put up a green screen like Star Wars does in the desert.
Exactly. Did they really have to film in that region? Or if they were so gun ho on being accurate and filming in China and having real Chinese people in the movie and all that good jazz, they couldn't take the time to do market research, which I assumed what film companies are supposed to do, and been like, hey, this region is currently under yada yada yada, and people are being fucking prosecuted, or whatever the case is.
Okay.
Let's film over here.
Lemon Pie said they thanked the security apparatus that runs that area and commits the atrocities. So assume they were also running the security that was keeping them safe while they were there.
I mean, either way, you still avoid this by fucking shooting somewhere else. Disney has never
Yeah,
been
but they
known for
want
its
to make it
accuracy.
authentic, man.
Yes, apparently now was the time. Dude, they have done every possible fucking thing they could do wrong with this movie. Like, every
You're right.
single
The
thing about this
easiest thing
movie.
that they could have done to avoid this was not remake Mulan. It was fine on its own.
Yes, Curtis, more Mulan problems. I mean, this thing, I mean, I thought Aladdin when the CGI thing came out, but everyone was kind of like, yeah, well, whatever. It still made its money back, right?
You did not
Lion
read
King.
Curtis's comment properly because it was hilarious, and all you said was more problems. He said, more Mulan, more problems. That's funny.
I mean, this is it's just common sense stuff. Like I don't understand how Disney is able to fuck up this monumental and still make billions. It boggles my mind. Like to probably lose money on this, but as a
Because they
whole, there's
license all their stuff out, man. Like you see a product out there that isn't something that Disney sells, but has a Disney character on it. They already made the money on that product. Like a sandwich bag that has a Star Wars character on it, Disney already got paid for that. It don't matter how many sandwich bags get sold.
exactly. Or anything Disney related. Disney fucking owns ESPN. I mean, there's they got their hands in a lot of things. So the rumors that Disney is going broke, that won't happen in our lifetime. But this is at least a pretty big blow because they put a lot of money in this movie, and I don't see them recouping even half of that. It cost them 200 million.
At least.
So at least that's what they're reporting. There's probably more than that. So I know fucking streaming it and charging people $30 isn't going to recoup even a fraction of that. And then if it does get released in some theaters, I don't believe that it's going to get nearly as much money as they're hoping for. So this is a bust all the way around. Like they should have just
Uh,
delayed this and released it in U.S. theaters and took their chances. They probably would have had a lot more success.
can you put up the most recent comment?
Sure, hold on.
Jamie Vick says they didn't have to thank the authorities running the re-education camps.
No, I don't know. Like, I don't know what they're thinking when they do this. Like, I just
They're
don't
thinking
understand.
they didn't get murdered and they appreciated it, so they're going to name the people that were in charge of them not getting murdered.
I agree with Lemon Pie when he says they shouldn't have filmed there or anywhere in that
Right,
nation
I
at all.
agree. They shouldn't have remade Mulan. I agree.
I don't agree with that statement per se. It
That's
could
what
have
you
been done
just
a
said.
hundred
They
different.
shouldn't have filmed, which means you don't remake it. Don't
No, they
film
shouldn't have
anywhere.
filmed there in the region. Okay, we
Right.
know you're
Shouldn't have
biased
filmed
again.
there or anywhere that is like within like a million miles of China.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly, which means nowhere on Earth is within a million miles of China, which means you can't remake Mulan.
Moving on. You and me are never going to agree on this one because you have never seen a remake, which kudos for that.
No, the
Um,
only remakes I've ever seen per se are horror movies.
well, those you can remake. I mean,
Like they're getting
some of those
remade every
horror
other week.
movies need, yeah, some of those horror movies need remakes because they're
Like,
just
no, it's the remake of the remake of the remaster of the director cut. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out.
yeah, that's one of those things. Like you see a really bad horror movie, and you're like, "This is so great. I wish they'd remake this." Or there's just some movies where you're like, "This would be good if they redid it and gave it like better dialogue, special effects, and some current actors." uh, speaking of actors and Hollywood in general, let's talk about the Oscars.
Oh man, you're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
use all kinds of fucking buzzwords now.
Oh my God. The Oscars is going buzzwords crazy. I could not even believe that they're including this. But the Oscars' new inclusion rules sparked controversy. Here's what the Academy leaders have to say. What do the Academy leaders have to say for the program that no one gives a flying fuck about anymore? The Motion Picture Academy. I can't remember the last time. No, I did see the Oscars for Joker. But anyways, the Motion Picture Academy is very familiar with controversy. In recent years, you could say it's been a magnet for it. Now, in the wake of the group's announcement of the new inclusion standards that will soon be required of any potential Best Picture nominee, Hollywood's prominent organization has put itself squarely in the center of an ongoing national debate over issues of systemic race and representation.
Race, representation, buzz.
You are just one, right?
So basically,
Oh, wait, I skipped one. Systemic.
On Tuesday, in its latest step to boast diversity, not only within its ranks, but across the film industry, the Academy detailed new criteria for the Best Picture. So now, more great movies can be fucked over for recognition that will measure inclusion on both on-screen and
that's one of
off-screen.
them big fucking words.
Yep, in the types of stories being told and the actors involved. So let me just so everyone's clear. They're now going to base whether or not a film is good and deserves to be awarded based on inclusion, both on screen and off screen.
Yeah, it depends. It's a lack of white people.
So this is going to include the types of stories being told and the actors involved, which means if you don't check your boxes and you're a director, you ain't going to fucking see an Oscar for years. If you don't check your boxes with your actors, you're not going to see an Oscar ever. As well as behind the scenes in makeup and crew and in the studios, production companies and distributors involved. Only films that meet 2 out of the 4 specified categories of inclusion will be allowed.
Out of what whores?
2 out of the 4. So they have to have
4, not whore. My bad.
So they have to have inclusion either in the type of story they're telling, in the actor, in the behind the scenes, or the studio production company and distributor. Are you fucking kidding me? So
they are not.
So you're telling me that a movie could win if they hit this bullshit inclusion meter on all of them? Like, if they're diverse, even in their fucking production and distribution of the movie, how the fuck does that relate to how good the movie is? Never had I gone, oh my God, Coca-Cola is sponsoring this movie. It's going to be the greatest fucking movie ever because they're diverse. Never.
That's the only reason that I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies is because of all of the product placement. It's excellent.
This is the Oscars is becoming such a fucking joke that I don't.
Is it as big a joke as the fact that you can't put your goddamn phone on vibrate or off of vibrate? It is on vibrate. Yeah, son of a bitch, put it on silent. Goddamn.
I can't put it on silent.
Jesus Christ, you gotta put it on silent before the stream starts, you bastard.
No, I mean, I just don't want to. Anyways, through
oh my God.
Through the initiative, though the initiative won't go into effect until the 2024 Oscars, where everyone in America stops watching this bullshit show, the reaction has been swift and intense. Some have cheered the new standards, and by some have cheered the fucking wacky blue-haired group. as a much needed step towards the film industry truly reflecting on its audience. Who the fuck said that? Who has said, oh my God, the Academy is really being reflective of the. No, these weirdos
It
don't
was
watch
most
these movies.
definitely a white person being like, "Oh, I gotta make sure these people know that I am a good person."
Others have lambasted them as the latest example of political correctness run amok. Some say they go too far, while others say they haven't gone far enough. And
What?
already,
Haven't got far enough. What? Crank all
I
them percentages up. You can't get an Oscar unless you got 0 white people everywhere.
like, who said that's not far enough? Where is the fucking line on this? Like, like you know, this is the worst. This is the all-time worst that I have ever seen or heard in an article. I'm fucking done with that. I can't even read the rest of that bullshit because it's just a long ass article about this shit. But I'm gonna sum it up for you folks. Inclusion on every front. So now we're not judging movies anymore by the character, the story, how it fucking makes you feel, whether or not it's well acted,
No,
whether people
they are
deserve it.
doing it by that, but you just have to reach the qualifications of proper inclusion, diversity, and whatever bullshit other buzzwords are important to these woke motherfuckers.
Read Curtis's comment because this is the next great film we can expect. I totally agree with him.
Curtis says, the next big movie, it's called Things to Do List. As the camera pans down slowly, a list of politically correct things to do in life. The end. Greatest movie ever. Not.
like you know what, this inclusion, this representation bullshit has gone like way too far. Like, it's been past the point of ridiculous, but the Academy has officially cornered the market on fucking stupid. I do not understand for the life of me how the makeup artists affect how good the film is going to be. If you don't have a diverse makeup artist, you're fucked. Like, you've got to have a black, trans, yeah,
No, they don't
Hispanic,
necessarily have to be
Muslim,
black. I read some of this
female.
bullshit. It just has to be a minority. So they can be black, brown, or yellow. Or red, I guess. You just can't be a red one from Washington, D.C., because that's just a Washington football team now.
Like, I don't get how not having a diverse group of people in the background of your movie is going to make it any better or good. I'm sure Mulan had the most fucking diverse cast in the world and the most diverse group of people working in the back. And that movie was a piece of shit.
They were all yellow.
No, you had the white Disney guy coming through, going, and of course Mickey Mouse.
White guy, hey.
Like, I don't understand, like, this play, and none of these movies ever do good. None of these movies become hits that anyone gives a shit about. This is ridiculous.
We don't care about making hits. We care about inclusion and diversity. Ha!
Oh my God. Like, man, I don't even know. I don't have anything that could really translate my feelings to how fucking stupid this was when I read it. I was like, the Academy, the Oscars, the Emmys, they're all determined for people to never watch them. That's what it is. I figured it out. They don't want any audience. They want to see if they could be the first award show to be canceled. That's what I'm
I don't know if
like.
they won't cancel an award show for poor ratings. They'll just move it over to like live stream only or some bullshit. But they'll never get canceled. Just people will stop to care less. Because then we'll only care about the ones that don't have to worry about these standards. Because this was just, as far as I know, for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be a minority to be best lead actor or best frickin' or whatever, all the best frickin' what do I want to say? Sound effects, shit like that. You don't have to worry about these standards for those awards. So you can still have those awards kind of mean something. But the big one, the one that everyone used to care about, really won't fucking mean anything because you're like, oh, that one that only had 29% of minorities didn't qualify. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, so that means a film like Joker wouldn't have been nominated, or Parasite, or that fucking Bridge of Spies movie, that one with Tom Hanks, wouldn't have been nominated. Great actors are basically going to be snubbed from the awards because
Well, I bet
they're white.
I bet there's no way Joker would have been able to be nominated. There's no way that's 30% minority, right?
No, Joker would have. And I feel like this rule was made because Joker won. I'm just throwing that out there. I think Stevie would agree with me. After Joker won, the Academy lost their fucking mind, and they were like, oh my God, too many white people won this award for a good movie that people liked. We gotta stop this shit now. Like, Joaquin, congratulations, because that's the last fucking award you're gonna see in your life, buddy. Like,
I mean, maybe no. He can get into one of these ones where he's the token white guy. He's one of these, as Curtis says, Mickeys. That's the token white person.
like Joaquin Phoenix might be fucking 50 Shades of Crazy. But I mean, we won't hear another one of his epic speeches ever again. Because I'll tell you what, that fucking speech was epic. I don't care what anyone says. You listen to that. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about, but that was the most epic speech I ever heard.
He's talking about cows, man.
I like
that was. Everybody just think about that. We will never get a great nonsensical speech like that ever again. Just let that sink in. And what about the great other films that are out there that won't get promoted? Anyone who's a great actor? Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm glad he finally got an award because he ain't never going to see another one. At least not for Best Picture.
That was perfect timing.
No, you keep forgetting that they all need that token white guy.
No, man, it's not going to be diverse enough according to the inclusion rules.
Dude, they even have a token white guy in Black Panther, and he only saves everyone.
Yeah, I don't know what else he did in that movie.
Except for save everyone?
Well, I like I told you, that's not my favorite movie, so I
Hey, at
vaguely
least he
remember.
got to keep the top half of his head in that movie.
I made him.
That's fair.
What is that frickin'
I can do it on myself.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? He loses top half his head?
His head, yep. That was another really great underrated film. Oh my God. So,
Yeah, but we could talk
everyone
about that in a different 42 streams.
Yeah, we definitely should have a stream about that because I could talk about that movie all day. But everyone who was hoping Bill and Ted's Face the Music was going to be nominated, that won't happen.
But seriously, if
Oh,
you
fuck
roll
no.
this tight, my hair
Even
is
though
gonna be
Keanu Reeves is a national treasure. Um,
Debatable, but I'd lean towards your side.
so speaking of diversity and all this bullshit we've been
Oh,
bringing up
fuck.
tonight, let's talk about Justice League star Jason Momoa showing support for
Ooh.
Ray Fisher amid
Aw.
Warner Brothers investigation. Not Aquaman. No, Aquaman. Don't throw
Aw.
in with a shitty cyborg. We love
Aw.
Aquaman. Jason
That
Momoa.
makes me sad.
It does. It
I
does.
think I thought the
Because-
Great Khal was better than that.
Me too.
What
Me
are
too.
you doing? What happened?
Jason
Mike.
Momoa.
The great
Is ex-
grasslands are weeping right now.
I know he gave his life for the horse people, and now he's tarnishing that legacy. So
Motherfucker.
Jason Momoa is expressing solidarity with fellow Justice League co-star and whiner. I'm sorry, I ad-libbed that part. Ray Fisher amid the cyborg actor's ongoing dispute with Warner Bros., the studio behind the superhero franchise. Momoa took to social media on Tuesday, posting a photo of Fisher on his Instagram story with the captions, "I stand with Ray Fisher." Fisher shared Momoa's post on Twitter, writing, "Accountability in entertainment." Fuck me. Fisher in July accused Justice League director Josh Whedon of gross abuse, unprofessionalism, and completely unacceptable behavior. Although he never backed it up with facts or named one thing that Josh Whedon did, I also ad-libbed that. Though he has not gone into detail about what happened on set. Same difference. Fisher
Jesus.
also claimed that former Warner Bros. Co-president and of production, John
Bugs Bunny.
Berg, and
Oh.
DC former entertainment president, chief creative officer, Johns, enabled Wheaton's alleged behavior. Following Fisher's initial claims, Wheaton declined to comment.
Hold on a second. Yes, technically they allowed his behavior because they fucking hired him.
You know, and here's the thing, and LB has brought this up. Like, what is he accusing him of? He has not had any accusation that he's come out with, and everyone who makes these claims always goes, "Oh, you know, he said racial slurs, or you know, he told me to fuck off one day and hurt my feelings, you know, something." And he's
He
not
called
being
him a
specific.
brother, and he is not a Hulk Hogan fan.
Fisher in July accused sorry about that. That was, I already read that. Following Fisher's initial claims, Wheaton declined for a comment, while Berg said it was categorically untrue that we enabled any unprofessional behavior. Warner Media launched an investigation shortly after Fisher's accusations about the workplace environment. Following that news, Fisher wrote in August, "I believe this investigation will show that Johns and Josh Wheaton and John Berg and others grossly abused their power during the uncertainty of the AT&T's merger and Time Warner." Tensions re-escalated last week when Warner Media released a statement saying Fisher refused to cooperate after the media company initiated an investigation and hired a separate independent third-party investigator. The investigator has attempted multiple times to meet Mr. Fisher and discuss his concerns, but to date, Mr. Fisher has declined to speak to the investigator. Warner Media said on September 4th, Fisher did not speak on August 26th to an investigator via Zoom, but cut the conversation short because he wanted to consult his team before proceeding. Also, on Friday, Fisher briefly expanded on his allegations. He asserted that Johns made veiled threats against his career and alluded that another actor would play Cyborg, his character from the DC Extended Universe, in a separate television show. Wheaton took over directing duties in 2017 to film after the original filmmaker Zack Snyder had to leave the project due to a personal family tragedy. After extensive reshoots of Justice League debuted to mixed reviews and became a commercial flop, Momoa, who portrays Aquaman in the superhero series, and Fisher among the franchise stars who are returning to the Snyder version's cut of Justice League adaptation, a 4-part miniseries
The
expected to drop.
Snyderverse.
So, here's the thing. I call complete and total bullshit. And first off, Ray, your version of Cyborg is totally fucking shitty. Secondly, so he got threatened. How many people in Hollywood get threatened? Their jobs every fucking day.
They would have never been able to make any of Transformers because Michael Bay was constantly threatening Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, like, you will run past that bomb and then it will explode after that.
Or we will do slow mode while your chest bounce up and down, Megan, because you can't act, and that's all people came to see.
What a spectacular scene. But Lemon Pie said, investigate how Justice League was so bad. No shit. I bet they would find all kinds of evidence for Ray Fisher then.
Like,
he'd be at the top of the fucking pile.
You know what, PB? I'm just gonna make a hypothesis here, and I think you can back me up on this one. I think that Ray was just salty because some of his scenes got cut, and now we're in this whole BLM movement, and the whole Black Lives Matters, and he wants to play the angle that the race card, like he wasn't getting enough screen time because Whedon cut his stuff. I know he was upset about his scenes cut in the movie because apparently he had a couple that were cut out, and so he made up this whole entire story about this big bad director, abusing him on set, and the company not doing anything about it. And you're going to have these claims from people because that's the era we're in.
You said that I could back you up on this claim?
Absolutely.
Well, you're absolutely wrong, because I'm pretty sure that the only reason that he's trying to bring all this stuff up is because people like to gravitate towards stories like this, as in they'll pay attention to something like this, and he's just butthurt that everybody likes the Cyborg in Doom Patrol more than him, because he does a far better job with far less production value. Like, it's unbelievable how somebody in a TV show can just so easily supersede somebody else that came before. It's not the other way around. Like, we saw the guy in the TV show, and then you see the guy in the movie, and you're like, oh, yep, that's what the character is supposed to be, because that's how it usually works, because the TV version is the cheap version of the character, and the movie version is supposed to be the expensive version. Well, unfortunately, in Justice League, the Zack Snyder version of Cyborg is the shit version. He's terrible.
I mean, but this isn't the only character we've seen that with. Ezra Miller. I mean, tell me which Flash you prefer. I've been going back through and watching all of the seasons of Flash,
I prefer
and I gotta say,
every single Flash over Ezra Miller. I prefer Impulse from Young Justice over Ezra Miller, and
I've been
he's
watching
annoying as
Young
hell.
Justice. But here's the thing, though. Even the CW version of the Flash is better than the movie version of the
Well, yeah,
Flash.
because it's Barry Allen. Because I still stand by the fact that if his name was Wally West in the movie, his character, when he's not a superhero, would at least make more sense. Because Wally West is a far more comical character than Barry is. It doesn't matter where he is in his superhero story, whether or not he's been the Flash for 2 days or 200 days or 20 fucking years.
Well, I agree with you.
Exactly. I make good points that you can agree with, whereas you make, you probably made some relatively good points, but I think that he's just butthurt that there's a better cyborg than him.
I mean,
Because
I
all
do
of this
agree with
stuff was
one.
true, and then Doom Patrol came out, and then you had another season of Doom Patrol, and the in between time is when he decided to release this story.
And how many people? I don't know. Well, I don't know how many people you've talked about this with, because Perp is the huge fan that we know in our circle. But I'm sure if you go online or if you look in articles or even fucking reviews, they would all say that the cyborg in that show is a great version of Cyborg. I mean, I believe I specifically have
Booyah.
heard Perp say that. I mean, he's the he's uh he's the most accurate cyborg that we've ever gotten. And I say ever because I'm excluding Ray Fisher out of that. I mean, I guess the TV show, I would say probably like the cartoons probably did it
Which
pretty.
TV show?
I mean, I go Teen Titans did it pretty good.
I never watched that one.
Oh, yeah. Starts off comical, gets dark really fast. But I mean, yeah, I mean, there's been cartoon versions, but live action, we only have two things to compare here. We have the the Doom Patrol, and even he came from I believe he originally came. No, he started Doom Patrol. So I mean, Doom Patrol, and then you have the movies. So those are the only two live actions we can compare. And if you
Yep.
watch Doom Patrol and you watch Justice League, you tell me which one is fucking better. Because in Justice League, he's non-existent, and in the parts he is in, he says very little to nothing.
He's
So
a
you can't even
fucking
really
douche.
gauge. Yeah, he's kind of a dick. I mean, because Zach wants to go with a darker version, so you can't even really gauge his character. Whereas in Doom Patrol, you get to see his relationship with his father, his interaction with the Doom Patrol. You connect more with the character.
Sorry, I was laughing at Lemon Pie's most recent comment where he said, Stephen Wolf, worst villain.
He quickly amended that and said, "Yeah, I know, Steppenwolf."
No,
But
from now on, I'm going with Stephen Wolf because he looks like a Stephen Wolf. What a fucking weirdo.
Stephen Wolf, what a douchebag villain, man. I don't trust anyone with the name Stephen and Wolf at the end. That's a guy
I
you
mean,
can't trust.
I give him credit for having a sweet weapon, but he sounds like such a fucking. Well, you ain't supposed to say the F word, right? So I won't. He sounds like a fucking queer.
Dude, Steppenwolf, I've seen him in the animated versions, right? And they've made him such a badass. But then when you watch the movie, he's just so bland and flat and just unappealing. And when you think about that movie's runtime, what did he actually do? He didn't do anything except for get his ass beat at the end of the movie. So what's so
No,
great
he
about
killed a bunch of Amazonians. That's about it. What's up, Stone Cold Jeremy?
what's up, Stone Cold? Good to see you here. But I mean, yeah. So Ray, buddy, don't blame the director for this shitty movie. Why don't you go and blame the Lord and Savior Zack Snyder for writing your character so terrible? Because that's probably what was the figure that they put in his movie? 10% of my actual movie, whatever the fuck it is.
Lemon Pie said he collected mother's boxes.
Lemon Pie is on a roll.
Stephen Wolf was out there sniffing around like Joe Biden for mother's boxes. That's fucking special. Oh
You know
man.
what's funny? Already, based on those revisions, that version that Lemon Pie just created, I would watch of Justice League. I'd be like, Steven verse? Is Stephen Wolf? And he's collecting mother's boxes? This seems like an interesting movie.
Yeah, you realize that you are watching the porn parody, right?
Oh shit. I mean, well,
Jesus Christ, man. You've stepped
you know,
into another fucking porn parody and you didn't even fucking know it.
I don't have Lethal Lightning to point these things out, my porn buddy in crime. I miss talking porn with that guy. Anyways,
I know, that's because we're evil.
you mentioned gay. Speaking of gay, let's talk about the Ellen show.
The Ellen show is most definitely queer.
What the actual fuck?
She's gay as hell.
Yeah? So, not everyone that goes on the show is fucking gay.
I didn't say that everybody went on the show is fucking gay.
So how come the show is gay?
Because she's a big gay homo.
Okay? That doesn't have to do with the price of fucking gold in China.
There's no gold in China.
So because Oprah's straight, that makes everyone who watches her show straight?
No, it makes the show a straight show. It just makes it very rotund and curved.
Speaking of which, the Ellen show, it's funny actually, she would yell that in the background because this story is about sexual misconduct. So the Ellen show sets a return date, and yes, she plans to address the recent controversy. Ooh, what controversy has been on the Ellen show? It's been a tough few months for Ellen DeGeneres. While the world of COVID crisis seems a storm is brewing by the former employees of the beloved talk show host, and they have come forward about a toxic work environment at the Ellen DeGeneres show. Internal allegations include mentions of racial insensitivity, staff mistreatment, sexual misconduct, and a culture of fear. Of course, this in itself is hardly a new narrative. Hollywood studios and stars have been oftentimes faced with the backlash as staff complaints and varying allegations have bubbled to the surface in the realm of the public and media opinion. For DeGeneres, though, the blow was rather unexpected and has seemingly divided fans and celebrities alike. Kevin Hart has vocally defended her, while Mariah Carey admitted that Ellen had made her feel comfortable or uncomfortable in the past. But for everyone who thought the recent controversy could spell the end for the long-celebrated talk show, think again. The Ellen Show returns for season 18 on Monday, September 21st on CTV. And yes, DeGeneres
Oh
assures
my
us
God,
they
season 18. That means that if you were born at the beginning, now Ellen can go after you.
And yes, DeGeneres assures us she plans to talk about it. It, in the case of the elephant in the room, or the questions on everyone's mind. Do the frequent assertions Ellen makes surrounding the importance of kindness and empathy apply in equal measure off camera to the staff? Basically, does the daytime star truly practice what she preaches? Or is this another example of the problematic Hollywood power dynamics? In a recent statement speaking to the show's return, DeGeneres made it clear she isn't planning on shying away from the topic. I can't wait to get back to work at our studio, she said, and yes, we're going to talk about it. Although filming takes place back on the Ellen stage, the show will be filmed without a studio audience due to COVID-19 restrictions. During the first week back, DeGeneres will welcome Tiffany Haddish, Kerry Washington, Alec Baldwin, and Chrissy Teigen to kickstart the new season.
See, I
The guest
told you,
roster,
one token white guy.
the rest of the month is equally impressive with Chris Rock, Amy Schumer slash Whore, Adam Sandler, Orlando Bloom are currently confirmed. Fan favorite Stephen T. Witchboss, who has served as the show's DJ since 2014, has since been promoted to co-producer of the show and will also reportedly guest host some upcoming episodes. The pair have shared obvious bond both on and off screen for the past several years, and T. Witch has repeatedly come to Ellen's defense while addressing the recent allegations.
Whoa. Hold on. Did you say again T-Witch?
Yes.
It's Twitch, for the love of God.
I don't watch the Ellen show, so I don't know these
He
people.
don't watch the Ellen show, so
I found Twitch from So You Think You Can Dance, so eat my ass.
I don't watch So You Can Think You Can Dance either.
He doesn't watch So You Think You Can Dance either. And that also means that he can't read a word.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
It's the same word as the frickin' streaming frickin' network Twitch.
I guess.
It's spelled exactly the same.
Kind of.
Oh my, continue.
We can't speak too much legally about it, but I'll say this. There's been love. Obviously, there's some things to address, but from my standpoint and from countless others, there has been love. I'll just leave it at that until there's time where we can address this publicly. There's been love, and there will continue to be love. These updates arrive weeks after the Ellen show ousted 3 tenured producers, including Ed Gelvin, Kevin Lehman, and Jonathan Norman. Although the decision Gelman, yes. Not Gelman, Gelvin. Glavin.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of Regis, my bad.
Although I don't watch any of those talk shows, but although the decision seemingly came in response to the ongoing investigation into the workplace culture, the producers have denied any wrongdoings. DeGeneres also reportedly apologized to her staff during an emotional Zoom meeting last month. During the call, the comedian explained that she is introverted in nature and has good and bad days, which often prompt her to keep to herself. She realizes now that this could be misinterpreted as not being nice. DeGeneres also admitted that, of course, she's not perfect, but is a multi-layered person who tries to be the best she can be while learning from her mistakes.
Whoa. Did you just say she's trying to be the best that she can be?
Yes.
When did she join the army?
While learning from her mistakes. DeGeneres has also reportedly updated her staff perks package to include additional pay, time off, and an improved medical leave policy.
Uh-huh.
So, oh man. So do you think these accusations are true? Do you think it's a bunch of bullshit? I don't know. Ellen seems nice, but I don't fucking work for her, so I don't know what she is like behind the scenes. I mean, we could see a smiling face, and then cameras cut off, and she's like, "Where's my fucking latte?" I don't know. I don't know her personally, but there were some people let go. So either these were people she had no knowledge of doing this stuff, or the hammer had to come
Sounds like
down.
people that don't know how to take a fucking joke.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
With stuff
sorry, my mistake. You thought that I was going to talk longer while you spit in a bottle, you bastard.
my whole thing is this. With claims like this, you'd never really know exactly what's true, what's
with
not.
claims like this, I always like to remember that this isn't Nazi Germany and I live in America. So I'm going to assume that she's innocent and did absolutely nothing wrong until there's actual evidence that she did something wrong.
I mean, and this to me is that I didn't read anything that says that she directly said anything to anyone. I mean, they let go some people that sound like they were behind the scenes. Could have been someone else saying fucked up stuff. Who knows? But
Jamie Vick said the better question is, who cares?
yeah, that is true. I mean, she's
there
on her
are people
18th
that
season.
care in general because they watch the show. I don't know how many people watch the show. I know my wife watches the show, and I guess I watch it occasionally, like if somebody like Iron Man is on it or Black Widow, but I don't be watching it constantly. I can't be watching a talk show like that. It's fucking lame. And she is not that funny of a comedian. Oh, Stevie J just released a video. I got a notification. I couldn't read the title, but it's about Amber Heard.
Oh, yeah, Stevie J's been on that Amber Heard Johnny Depp. So, quick plug for Stevie J Raw, because he changed his name. If you want to get the best news on the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation going on after the program, go check out Stevie J's channel because he is up to date on that ridiculous case that's going on. My God, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, talk about evil bitches. Just Amber Heard is the biggest cunt bag in the world. And I'm sorry if I've offended someone by saying that word, but no, I'm not. I'm a villain. Anyways, she's a cunt. And yeah, there's some blatant setup going on. There's like some really just really crazy shit. I don't know if Johnny knew what he was getting into. With that being said, I would have probably made the same mistake because, it's Amber Heard. So, I mean, I would have walked right into that trap. I'm just saying that now. So, I don't blame Johnny. I just don't think he knew what he was getting into because, oh my God, she's fucking nuts. Like, half the shit I heard Stevie say, I'm like, she really did that? Like, she abused Johnny Depp. That's good. That's crazy.
Yeah, she's crazier than Ariel. And they both live under the sea.
Like, I was like, Jason Momoa better watch out. Like, I think DC's afraid to fire her. Definitely be afraid of the repercussions. She's the type of person you leave her and she fucking keys your car and stalks you for the next 3 years. Anyways, speaking of, you mentioned Scarlett Johansson. Let's talk about some exciting news surrounding Scarlett Johansson. Now, keep in mind, this is sourced by We Got This Covered, but I did also hear this from
incoming with the raccoon sources.
I did also hear this in Entertainment Weekly as well, that Scarlett Johansson is in fact making a return to the MCU. Besides Black Widow. So, November's Black Widow has been heralded as...
Whoa. Lemon Pie has a question for you. He said, you skipping Mandalorian topic?
No, I'm saving the best for last. Because I know we're going to talk about that for a while. Because that's a very interesting one. So this is from 2 days ago. So this was sourced by Entertainment Weekly 2 days ago. But this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And you know how they like to lie. So I don't want to give 100% cosign on this. And it's We Got This Covered. So once again, I'm not 100% cosigning.
You know how they like to make stuff up.
Yeah. But November's Black Widow has been long heralded as the swan song for Scarlett Johansson's Natasha Romanoff, who will headline a spinoff that's been 10 years in the making. After becoming one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's most popular character and hottest, I ad-libbed that part, having been killed off in Avengers Endgame, there's seemingly no place for the former S.H.I.E.L.D. operative in the main timeline. But death isn't exactly an obstacle that the comic book movies can't easily overcome. Even though neither of them... Yeah. That's a big one. But even though neither of them made it out of Endgame alive, both the Johansson and Robert Downey Jr. have frequently found themselves linked to possible return to the MCU at some point down the road. And former solo movie hasn't been released yet. Director Kat Shortland seemed to confirm the speculation that Florence Pugs, I don't know how the fuck to say her last name, would assume the mantle on a permanent basis of Yelena. That's Black Widow's sister. But we've now heard from our sources, the same ones who told us Ben Affleck is returning for The Flash and a Witcher prequel that's currently in development, now of which we were correct on, that Natasha might not be gone for long. According to our intel, Marvel are set up to keep their cards close to the vest until Black Widow hits theaters, but Scarlett Johansson has reportedly signed on the dotted line and agreed to a deal to return to the MCU. While details are thin on the ground, the studio obviously needs to be careful about how they bring her back. Of course, there are several options in regards to how Nat could return, with time travel, flashbacks, alternate realities, all on the table. But as of yet, we don't know exactly how the character will be back on screens, only that she will be back at some point. And while some fans will no doubt be overjoyed to see her again, a Black Widow comeback could cause serious creative headaches if not handled properly. So, what do you think? We've talked about this before too. Do you think that they would bring Black Widow back? Because I don't see fucking Captain Marvel being the big
Why would you
flagship
not
person.
want Black Widow back? You keep bringing her back until she has a surgery goes wrong.
I mean, the Black Widow character is one of my favorites, but I you know, I feel like here's my problem. If you bring her back with that alternate timeline stuff, I feel like it gets rid of the impact in Endgame when, she
No, it
died.
does not get rid of the impact of Endgame. Because how did you feel when you watched it?
Like my heart was ripped out of my chest.
There you go. That will never have changed how you felt.
But it
You're not going to go
changes.
back in time and be like, oh, well, now I have to retroactively change how I felt 5 years ago because she's alive again and that death didn't actually have the meaning that it has. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, but it does present a problem though, because when that takes away the impact of that story, especially when you rewatch it, because you're like, oh, she died, but she's gonna be back in this movie that I'm gonna put in after this. It takes something away from the story, and this is the problem with Marvel, is when deaths don't have meaning. They do that with a lot of these characters. Like, if a character dies, they should stay dead because there was, oh God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. John Campea is going to be doing backflips, but that it takes away the emotional weight of that whole
You and your
entire
fucking
storyline.
emotional weight. You are entirely wrong on this.
No, because they do this all the time. If something is shot a particular way and they're like, okay, this character is done, we're done with them. It's sad, but it added more gravity to that because you're like, oh shit, we will never see that character again. But now, through bullshit time traveling, as they're doing and all
I
this other
didn't
stuff,
hear anybody fucking complaining about all of the characters and the emotional weight that they carried at the end of Infinity War because we're like, wait a second, Spider-Man's got another movie coming. He's obviously got to come back to life somehow. This carries zero emotional weight. Black Panther, he's got to be coming back. His movie made over $1 billion. They got to be doing a sequel. Well, obviously, circumstances have changed now, but at the
yeah.
time,
But
like
no,
all kinds of
but this is
characters in that movie. Doctor Strange, he's doing another movie.
no, but here's the difference. We knew that they were all coming back because, there was no way they were killing that whole cast off in part one. It was still just shocking because they're like, oh shit, they actually did it. The villain actually won. That was the shock of that movie. That doesn't change because no matter what happens, Thanos still won. The difference is they were like, oh, these contracts are running out. So when these characters were dying off, it gives it kind of a finish like, oh shit, this person is actually done. That's the end of their story. That's it. It makes you feel like, oh man, it hits you harder. But then when you retroactively go back and go, oh, they're back because of reasons and time travel, that takes something away from the story.
Okay, sure, whatever. I feel like you're just making stuff up on the fly. You're like, well, this, this, now that I am not sure if it's going to take away the emotional weight, will take away the emotional weight. But when I was sure that they weren't going to matter, then the emotional weight mattered. That's some ridiculous bullshit.
Welcome to the world of critiquing.
The world of
Anyway.
critiquing. What? That's the world of fucking leftism. Think right there.
That has nothing to do with leftism. That has to do with
No, I said
storytelling.
leftism. Think. That's the way that they
No, that
think.
doesn't have anything to do
I
with
can use my
leftism.
logic. This is how it plays out, and then you give them another scenario. You're like, nope, logic don't apply. And I was like, yeah, that's because you don't have any fucking logic. You're just throwing stuff at the fucking board, and nothing fucking sticks. You're like, oh, none of my stuff applies here. So I guess throw it again. See if something applies to this analogy.
All right, I'll even take it a step further. This is not only an MCU problem, but it's also a DC problem as well. Because
Oh,
take,
so
for
you're one
instance-
of these comic book fans that when a character dies, they're supposed to stay dead forever and ever. Amen.
or there should be a justifiable non-bullshit reason of why they come back. But what's always
What
the
do you mean
reason?
justifiable
Time travel,
non-bullshit?
flashpoint, resetting the timeline. It's the same exact thing that they always do to justify bringing back a character that they've killed off.
How
just
many other things can you do to bring back a character that would have the same essence as the character that was lost?
I mean, you could just always create a new cool character, but it shows a lack of creativity when they can't create a character to replace the character that's been taken out. They used to be able to do that years ago. They don't do it anymore.
Quick question for you, because I know you're a fan and I know what the answer's going to be. What is one of, if not the most exciting thing that can happen in professional wrestling?
I'd have to say, like, when a wrestler goes away and they make their comeback, like Stone Cold Steve Austin or something like that.
Really? When a big name is gone for a long time, and then
Not
all
the
of a
same.
sudden
I see
they
what you're
make
going
their
with this.
return.
It is
And
not
you're like,
the
oh
same.
my God, this
You're talking
is
real life versus
amazing.
comic.
I can't believe that this character returned because he was fucking buried alive.
These are not the same things.
What do you mean not the same thing? They buried
You're
a person
talking about
alive
real
and
life
now he's
people
just
versus
alive
comic
again?
book characters. This is two separate mediums.
You're right, it's a lot easier to bring back a fictional comic book character than a real person that was buried alive.
We know that real life person wasn't really buried alive.
You're right. You're right. It's fair because if you're an undead Undertaker, you're not actually dead when you're being buried, so it takes a while to crawl out, but he was fine.
Exactly. I mean, the Undertaker now has been buried alive how many times?
I don't know.
I'd have to go back to all the buried alive matches that he's ever done.
Okay.
He's probably one of the only people
Timon
who do
Flip did one up us though. He is correct in saying that the best in wrestling is a female wardrobe malfunction.
I 100% agree. That just kills the argument and what I was thinking about.
I mean, Fully Loaded 1998 was not a malfunction, and it is the greatest pay-per-view ever, especially if you're a 12-year-old boy.
Yes.
Fucking A. You weren't 12. You're fucking 2 or 3 years older than me.
Hey, that works all ages. So I was
No,
like,
I bet. Yeah, you weren't 12, but you were still like freaking 8 in your mind. You've made it up to 10 now. We believe in you, General.
So are you ready to talk some Star Wars?
not oh, not until after you put the fucking comment from Lemon Pie on the screen so I can read it. Holy fucking shit. Lemon Pie says Superman came back from the dead using Stephen Wolf's mother's box.
Best comic return ever. You know what? Lemon Pie for the win on that one.
That
You
is
need
the
to make
best
this
way
into a
to
story.
return into the world.
You know what?
He was
I would accept
reborn,
that.
more badass than ever before. It took almost an entire Justice League to subdue him, and the only thing that could slow him down, a hot blonde. Whoops,
I
a
mean,
redhead.
well,
I misspoke.
well, to be fair, that would slow down most males. It doesn't matter if they're superpowered or not.
No, it's true.
So, so are you ready to talk Star Wars?
Is this the main event of the evening?
Yes, it is the Star Wars powder keg that Pedro Pascal's problems with the Mandalorian.
One
Dun, dun,
round in the
dun.
woke bullshit division. I don't know what his actual problem is because it didn't say in the headline, and I wanted to be surprised.
Yeah, yes. I also brought this article up because it brings up totally not the YouTuber that I stalk. Grace Randolph.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew. I knew. So I must have been reading your mind when I misspoke and said hot blonde.
So, YouTuber Grace
Don't worry,
Randolph.
it's Perp's favorite too.
Yes, because Perp has good taste. YouTuber Grace Randolph doubles down on what she said about Star Wars problems surrounding The Mandalorian Season 2. I did watch that video, which sounds like there might be
How many
issues.
times?
Definitely more than once. It sounds like I had to get my facts.
Sure.
And anyone who knows me knows I'm not big on facts, so you can figure out why I watched the video. Anyways,
Yeah, you had to get both facts.
which sounds like there might be issues with star Pedro Pascal. A week ago, saw Randolph state that Disney isn't happy with the Mandalorian Season 2 trailer, which is yet to be released, but was released recently because this was like a day before the trailer got released. And also that there is some sort
Wait, there was
of
a trailer?
there was a trailer, and if you watch the trailer,
What?
I can kind of see what the problem was because it didn't show you shit. It was like clips from season 1. That's a talk for another day. But there are some sort of big problem that occurred while filming that caused a big shift halfway through the second season involving Pedro Pascal's titular character. On Tuesday, Entertainment Weekly revealed first look images at The Mandalorian Season 2, with the interview, interestingly enough, confirming what Grace was talking about, the shift through the season. And while the first season's episodes are very strictly focused on Mando, Season 2 adds new storytelling angles. As we introduce other characters, there are opportunities to follow different storylines, Farvel says. The world has
Yep.
really
John Fargo.
Yep. The world has really captivated by Game of Thrones, the old season, not the new one. Please don't quote the new season. It sucked. And how it evolved as the characters followed different storylines. That's very appealing to me and many audience members. While Grace Randolph didn't specifically mention problems with Pedro Pascal, she questions why you would shift away from The Mandalorian in a show called The Mandalorian. So obviously, we can do the math. More below. Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 2 has big problems. So basically, I know something about The Mandalorian that can't really tell you for a couple of reasons. First off, when it started, I couldn't tell you because it would get the person who told me in trouble, explains Randolph on YouTube. This is the group text that kept Baby Yoda a secret. So they
Huh?
know what they're doing. So that put me in a difficult decision. And then I was like, well, you know what? This is so huge that if I hint at it, maybe a reporter will break the story and then I can cover it. Randolph continues, and instead, all these reporters decided to hardcore defend Disney for some reason. And it really was weird because some of them were like, the publicist told me everything with the show is going great. And you're like, of course, the publicist would say it's going or is going to tell you everything on the show is great. It's like, of course they will. It's like if you ask Richard Nixon, "Hey, by the way, did you break into the Democratic headquarters during Watergate?" He'd be like, "No, of course not," and they would be like, "Oh, okay, thanks." This is like it's not good for Disney. Crazy not to focus on the Mandalorian. Regarding why Grace Randolph just won't say that she has been told the Mandalorian. She says she is waiting to hear back from a source in regards to the current situation is because things might not have been patched up. I have to say this morning, I have double checked with other sources who I know who has very good Star Wars connections. And I said, can you help me out with this? Can you tell me about the situation that I heard? Because what I heard happened a couple of months back while they were filming, says Randolph. And so this person, the source told me it happened. It's definitely true. But my source working to find out what the current situation is, because Star Wars is such a powder keg that I don't want to say something and then have the people or persons in question be like, and honestly defend themselves. I totally understand. And so, oh no, that's not true because, things have to be patched up. Randolph adds, I think that there is a chance that things have been patched up to protect season 3, but because of what was said in the Entertainment Weekly article today, I am able to move a little bit further in what I know, and that they actually admitted that halfway through, they even used the halfway mark. I mean, thank you so much. That really helps me out. They weren't even like, oh, yeah, at some point. They were like halfway, exactly what I told you. They were like halfway, we are going to switch to a totally different character. So I'm really giving you a hint. Why would you need to know that? Right now, I am not saying the show is going to be bad, says Randolph. The show could be excellent. But as they've now admitted publicly, the second half of The Mandalorian Season 2, they don't focus on The Mandalorian, which is kind of crazy in a show that is called The Mandalorian, which I think underlines how crazy the behind-the-scenes situation is. Star Wars shills protecting Disney. Grace also suggested that some of the other sites protecting Disney, which if you have been following Disney Star Wars in the past few years, is nothing new. She talks about some of the different websites that are protecting them. I don't really want to go into that because that's really long. Star Wars doesn't need any more drama. Star Wars certainly doesn't need drama after John Boyega hit them hard, says Randolph. Whoever the person I am talking to about this, I don't want to damage their reputation. So I am just being really careful about this, and I want to see how it's being handled. I want to see again if it's been patched up. and I want to see just what's going on. But it is confirmed today what I told you about the halfway shift in The Mandalorian, and confirmed by the interview in Entertainment Weekly. And I think you can see where this is all starting to head. Pretty obvious. So, what are the problems with Pedro Pascal? Again, while Grace doesn't want to say the problem specifically around Pedro Pascal, if I had to guess, judging by what she said above, it sounds like while filming season 2, Pascal had problems with someone on set, possibly an exec, which might have actually caused Pascal to walk off the set, or even been told to walk off the set. And they didn't use Pascal to film the following second half of The Mandalorian. Since Pascal wasn't around, they used other characters to finish the season. Grace is offering things may have been patched up, suggests that whatever Pascal's problems with set person or persons during the season 2 filming might have been fixed for the sake of season 3, which means they want Pascal to stick.
They filmed The Mandalorian on the set of Ellen.
She patched things up. Yes, you see how the articles are interconnected. But anyways,
Exactly.
Which means they wanted Pascal to stick around for The Mandalorian. If Pedro Pascal left the role, that would be a huge blow for Disney following their disastrous Star Wars movies, and wouldn't look good for Disney Plus because The Mandalorian is the streaming service only show.
Who said disastrous? Is that you editorializing?
No, it's in the fucking article.
Did Grace say that, or the person writing the article?
Grace said that.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That surprises me.
I am in love with her. Anyways, it was look good for Disney Plus because The Mandalorian is the streaming service only show and a big reason why fans are still subscribed, while Disney basically has no new content to add to Disney Plus. So, I mean, this is huge. There was some kind of disagreement here. And the shift, if we do see a shift in the halfway point and they just focus on another character, it might have been a disagreement between the actor and some execs. So, yeah, the one show
that's what I just said, but then you told me that they patched it up after they fired those other 3 guys.
No, you're mixing up your connected universes again.
Oh, my mistake.
So, PB being the
now
foremost.
You're saying, hold on, let me make sure I got this correct. They patched it up, not misconnecting things, and he came back and filmed what he needed to film to finish the season.
No, he came back for season 3, but he left halfway through season 2. So they focus on another character according to Grace's sources.
Okay, so I'm going to get exactly what I asked for, and I didn't even know it was going to happen. Amazing.
So this is interesting, though, because
everyone's going to say I'm a woke warrior because I wanted more women in my show, but it's not my fault that Gina Carano's hot.
No, I think they go more Ahsoka and Rosario.
You think she's going to be the focal point in season 2?
Oh, absolutely. We got the Darksaber. There's questions about what happened after Rebels. I think the shift will be on her character. Now, I could be wrong, but quote me on this, because when we see the premiere and that shift happen, I think they're going to focus on her because she's a fan favorite. That would be the most logical thing to keep people still invested. If your actor walked
I want to be invested in the characters that are created in this show So they need to focus on Gina Carano's character and Baby Yoda.
Oh, there's definitely going to be probably a strong focus on Baby Yoda.
Dude, he was choking the shit out of her, was he not?
Oh yeah. I think they're definitely going to focus a lot on Baby Yoda. But here's the thing.
Yeah, so if he's 50 years old, that means he's of legal age, which means that was a sexual choking.
So let's take it back a little bit to a serious thing. Do you think that this is going to affect how this season plays out if there is a radical split?
Obviously, it's going to affect it. You just said that there's not going to be any Mandalorian in half the season.
And how are they going to explain that?
I assume I would think the easiest way to explain it is that he would get captured and imprisoned for half a season or something like that. That's all you gotta do is if he's captured and stuck in a cell for half a season, all you gotta do is randomly check on a person who's in a cell. It don't even gotta be him, as in Pedro Pascal. It's just gotta be some Spanish guy with long hair, and they'll be like, yep, it's still the guy in cell 420. Easter egg.
Nice plug. I think that, arguing with your lead actor is a stupid move. This is clearly a thing that Disney seems to just do this thing with fucking up and interfering in everything. I think that they said something or did something that really pissed him off, and he's like, "Oh yeah, shoot the rest of the season without the fucking Mandalorian.
Right,
I'm going to do Wonder Woman."
He got obviously paid less because he was not in as many episodes as he was supposed to be, but he's a big enough actor and obviously has enough money that he didn't care about that. Imagine if you had a football team, basketball team, baseball team, and your star decides to just take off half the season and be like, hey, I'm not going to play in half these games because the coach pissed me off. Yeah, you'll be getting rid of that coach real fast.
Yeah, especially to keep with your football analogy, especially if your star is putting up the points.
Exactly.
So then it comes down to
now, once the season gets released, which what you said is October 30th.
Yep.
Okay, so October 30th rolls around and he's in the first half of the season, or however, I don't know how many number of episodes there's going to be because there was 8 last year. Hopefully there'll be more. I don't fucking know. And the first half of the season is like gangbusters and it's getting reviewed like crazy. Everybody's giving it 5 out of 5 stars, 10 out of 10s, whatever, great reviews across the board. And then the second half of the season comes around and he's missing and the reviews drop off and the views drop off, and they can easily track that because it's through the streaming service. They know how many people have watched it. I mean, it's just like YouTube. They're just not showing you how many people have watched it. That's all. And they'll be like, oh, geez, people didn't watch the second half of the season. It's a good thing we freaking brought that guy back. But if the second half of the season does better than the first half, gosh, I don't know what you do then.
Yeah, because then you're looking at a situation where you'd be like, oh, we don't actually need but then here's the thing. Your title is still The Mandalorian. I mean, I guess you could put anybody in the Mandalorian outfit and call them the Mandalorian because, he doesn't take his helmet off. But people would know.
I wish
it would come out.
I wish I could think of an example of a TV show where the lead character or one of the lead characters that would, make up the title of the show left and it essentially stayed the same. I mean, 2.5 Men is similar, Like, you lost the person that was one of the two men and brought in another person, so it was still kind of the same, but not exactly. But it still fit the title because you had the right number.
Yeah, although I did see those later episodes, and I still feel like it lost something.
No, it absolutely did, but it still fit the title. Whereas you're right, the title of the show is The Mandalorian, and if there's no Mandalorian, like, what the hell are we watching?
Baby Yoda.
Like, if it's just
What?
Baby Yoda and Gina Carano, who's not a Mandalorian, she was, what was she? She was a
Shock
Republic
Trooper.
commando, retired, and then who the heck else is on their little crew? The old frickin' what's his face guy? He got killed by the stormtroopers. The I Have Spoken guy. Who the hell played him?
I forgot.
Oh, I wanted to say Mickey Rourke, but that ain't right. It's the other fucking old white guy who sounds funny all the time. Son of a bitch. I can't think of his name. But yeah, I can't, I don't know what the hell they'd call the show if it's The Adventures of Baby Yoda instead of The Mandalorian, because it's not what we were expecting in the first place. Like, you watch the first episode and you think, okay, we're going to get a show with the bounty hunter every week going and collecting a bounty, because that's what he does. At the beginning of the show, he's finishing collecting a bounty, and then he goes on to collect another one. And at the end of the episode, you get the big twist that it's a Baby Yoda, and you're like, oh my God, this is the cutest fucking Star Wars thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Fuck Ewoks, fuck Porgs. Let me get a fleet or a pack or a glaring or whatever they call it of Baby Yodas in my life, because I love them. But then how many other frickin' times does he go on a mission to collect a bounty in the other 7 episodes? Once?
Yeah, yeah. And then there was a heist of some kind, or they were
Right,
releasing
they do. Yeah, they do a
prisoners. I mean,
heist, but it's not him doing the
doing a bounty. Yeah,
bounty hunting that the vast majority of people were expecting when we heard the Mandalorian TV show was coming to Disney Plus.
yeah. I mean, so this is a really interesting situation. Um, I'm really curious who exactly he got into an argument with, or if there's going to be more, because they can't exactly say what happened, who it was with, and things like that. I'm sure eventually someone somewhere will come out with the details of it. But this is just another thing with Disney. How many times, Phoebe, have we heard these stories about some exec, someone who's tied into the program, but they don't make it, they don't have nothing to do with it, and some interference? And this sounds to me like some kind of interference or something they wanted to do, and the actor was like, nah, that's fucking stupid. I mean, I'm just surmising based on Disney's track record, especially with Star Wars. I mean, look at that fucking disaster Solo.
I
How
mean,
many people?
it's quite possible. I don't know what Pedro Pascal's history is on virtue signaling. I know what Disney's history is, so if they're like, hey, we need you to do this, and he's like, yeah, I don't virtue signal like that. But if he does virtue signal like that, and they asked him to, it'd be very confusing at why he didn't just go along with it. But if he's like, no, the character wouldn't, then I'd be like, oh, well, you're standing up for your art, which I would find rather impressive. It goes against your political beliefs, but you're standing up for your art. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, like he doesn't strike me as the type of person to do that. I mean, we haven't read every interview and every article, but I've never and you know, anyone who has something conflicting can let me know, but I've never seen him in articles, seen him on talk shows, you know, talking politics or anything like that. He's a pretty quiet guy. So I'm gonna guess that he
Which
just
I
does his acting.
appreciate out of my celebrities, because I don't care what you would do with your individual vote.
Yeah, I think that he's just another one of these actors who just wants to go to work, do his job he's paid for, and get his paycheck. And I can respect someone who wants to just do a role, do the best they can do in it, and then you know, at the end of the day, they don't have to fucking tell us their political views or their
No, and
save the environment bullshit.
to keep your role separate from your personal life, I would appreciate that. It'd be nice if other people would do that instead of saying, "Oh, well, I got this platform now because I've been cast as this character. So now I can let everyone know what I think." Well, fuck, why didn't you let us know what you thought 5 years ago? Well, I wouldn't have got cast as that character if you knew what I thought 5 years ago. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Brie Larson.
You didn't have to say the name.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just she's fucking ruining my life. I just whatever. Anyways, but yeah, so but I mean, you know, guys in the comments and everyone, let me know what you think about this. Do you think there's trouble in paradise? Do you think this is gonna be another show that Disney fucks up because they've been on a roll?
Mega Jetty thinks that he got 2 t-shirts with classic 70s Star Wars at the front of Big Lots for $8 a piece with Baby Yoda on them.
Come on, we're not promoting Disney here.
So we gotta go to Green Bay tomorrow?
What do you mean we're not promoting Disney? Your shill check didn't show up?
No, until my shill check shows up, I will not do my second segment about how Mulan is in fact the greatest Asian film ever shot. That video will be that'll be coming out as soon as they pay me. Disney, stop being stingy.
What, until then everybody's supposed to subscribe to DC Universe?
Oh hell yeah. I'll shill them till the day I die or until that site dies, and I will try to do a Kickstarter to reboot that site.
Yes, Mega Jetty. Everybody saw your Supreme Chancellor Zod tweet. It was hilarious.
It was great. By the way, anyone involved in that tweet, I appreciate the Zod love. A lot of love for the general. So yeah, we all know who wins that one. The only general in the galaxy, General Zod. And on that note, we should probably promote the fact that we are having a great fandom news tomorrow at 10.
Oh, with Admiral Zod?
Yep. It's going to be good because we are talking about the resurgence. What does that mean? You have to tune in to find out. But it does involve the riots as of late and some very surprising action that's going to be taking against them. It's going to be our more serious news segment that involves some statements, and you guys can judge.
That's
We're just going to bring you
disappointing. I wanted to talk about my favorite Speaker of the House again, and the greatest hairdo in DC.
Maybe we'll tackle that again. But I do have the shows laid out surprisingly for the next 2 weeks. The first one is going to be about the resurgence happening here and some potential military action being taken. And then the second week's going to be talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Admiral Zod is going to actually lay down some facts as to why that's one of the best movies he's seen. And we'll have a chance to talk about it because he actually knows the whole fucking story. And so we're going to talk about Charles Manson and how pretty close to accurate that movie is while still changing some of the details that happened.
Some?
Yeah, mainly the ending, but most of the beginning was fairly accurate to the characters. The whole ending is a what if, but the beginning of it and some of the setup and who the characters were supposed to be portrayed as was very accurate to the actual counter. I don't say so. The Admiral does. He's all about the facts stuff. You know me, I rely on the raccoons.
Uh-huh.
But it's a great movie. I love it. Because I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. Surprisingly, my dad liked it, so I'll be interested to get your take on what you think of the film.
Okay, cool. I've never seen it.
Really? You've never seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No. I've only ever seen the last scene because it was shown to me. For historical purposes. But it's not history.
No, it's a what if scenario, but leading up to that there were some factual moments and then some things that were ad-libbed. But the stuff with Charles Manson was accurate, and then the ending was what would have happened if things didn't happen as they happened in history. Kind of like Inglourious Bastards. We all know that no one took out Hitler. He took himself out. But that was
I was going to say, somebody took out Hitler.
But it wasn't on our side. We were close. He took the easy way out.
Hitler was taken out by a Nazi.
I really would have liked to see the Bear Jew do it, though.
Oh my God.
That's his name in the movie. For anyone who's going to go, oh my God, he made a racial slur. No,
I know. He's freaking, I love that movie. I've seen that movie at least half a dozen times, probably closer to a dozen.
I'd say that's right up there because I like Quentin Tarantino's older stuff, so it's kind of hard to compare, but that movie is just great, just all the way around. Just
100% history.
Oh, yeah, I would take that as a 100% factual thing.
Yep, Hitler even got shot in the head.
Yeah, they just all these years they got it wrong. Facts get changed. We all know that the Bear Jew is an American hero, an unsung American hero that took out Hitler. So there's your facts for the night. Anyways, you got anything coming up? Anything you like to promote? Maybe something from the Profits channel?
Yeah, as soon as I get done putting everything together, because I've been slacking, I got a review for the Netflix series Away. It's hilarious.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, I got something for Netflix, too, because I like rattling the cages. I'm doing a review.
What are you going to be releasing it on?
Definitely not our channel, because I'm probably going to piss off a lot of people. I'd rather do that on my channel.
That's the perfect place to do
it. Because I am going to do a review on the movie Cuties.
Oh my God, you watched it?
Oh yeah, I don't go based on the hype that other people say. I wanted to see
Yeah,
it
but
for
I don't
myself.
think I could watch it as soon as I saw the poster.
Yeah, that was terrible marketing, and they totally clipped and superimposed that from another scene. That
It
wasn't the
doesn't
original
matter.
person.
It doesn't
But
matter if it was good or bad marketing. As soon as I seen that poster, I'd be like, yeah, I'll just be moving on from this.
I do think, though, that both sides have completely ran in the other direction about it, and that, it's kind of an interesting situation, which is why I want to do a review on it and see what the reaction is for my review.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I live in a world of controversy. I mean, it's not like
That's
I
for
was looking
sure.
at the movie. And it's not like I was looking at the movie and going, look at those girls in this film. No, I
All
was just
right.
like,
See you later, Timon.
see it tomorrow. Um, I was looking at the film and going, what is this movie about? And when I watched it, I found out that it was not most certainly about what the marketing would have you think it's about. And that
It looks
people,
like
once
it's
again,
about little girl cheerleaders. Is it not about little girl cheerleaders?
not at all. That's a small section of like a 2-hour movie or an hour or 40 minutes or whatever it is. It's surprisingly longer than I thought it would be for a drama. I would put it in line with the other coming of age type of stories.
No.
Only only this one just happens to
It's a
have something that would piss people off. But I don't want to give too much away. I'm gonna do a spoiler review so you find out
yeah, you do
exactly.
that. You keep it hidden from me and save it for other people. Good idea.
Because yeah, you guys can watch my spoiler review if you don't want to watch the film, and I will break down the plot, the ending, what I thought about it, and why I feel like both sides are kind of being ridiculous about the whole
Yeah,
thing.
everyone here can hear the general's feelings. That'll be great.
And also, um, I'm going to be releasing a review on Bill and Ted Face the Music, which is by far one of the funniest comedies I've seen in a really long time. I'm really glad that it was not politicized. It was fucking hilarious. And it wasn't stupid comedy. It was actually a really good return to form. I'd say it was up there with the originals. Not as good as the first movie, but
And
definitely better than
Keanu
the second.
Reeves is a national treasure.
Absolutely. We need a Keanu Day. Um, I don't know, a statue maybe
Do we
right
not
next to
have a
mine.
Keanu Day? What is the day of the first release of either John Wick or The Matrix?
I gotta look that up because I don't know the specific day. I do know the Matrix was in the
Because if
90s.
they're both released in like the same month, you just split the difference like they did with President's Day. It's right between Lincoln and Washington's birthday.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna figure that out and then put that up for a national holiday. I think I can get it approved. Everyone loves Keanu Reeves. I'm sure Donald Trump has a John Wick poster.
For sure.
All right, so anyways, thank you everybody for watching. This has been great. We talked some facts, some bullshit more than likely. We got this covered. We don't know what's real, what's not, but hopefully some of this stuff is true. Definitely stay tuned. We'll do some follow up. Who knows? But yeah. Anyways, y'all have a wonderful evening. Remember, the only rule here in the fandom zone, read the banner, kneel before General Zod, the best
Oh,
general.
so you can read.